Let's see that tape, Skywalker.
Will you come on?
Give me that.
Come on.
Cut it out, Wendy.
Aha! It looks like this tape's been played a few thousand times.
Give it back.
The great Luke Skywalker, hero of the universe. When are you gonna grow up, Luke? When are you gonna grow up?
Hello and welcome to the IGUSW podcast. I am your host, your buddy, Tom Burgess. I thought I would start this podcast and every podcast going forward with a little bit of an excerpt of a song that I remember when I was a kid. And of course, Short People was definitely one that I enjoyed back when I was a kid. I had a friend who, his name is Greg. He played that song over and over again. Like most kids back then, or most kids now, I don't know. Do they? Do they play songs over and over again, over and over ad nauseum? I remember Greg playing that song, and you couldn't help but get it stuck in your head, and it's still stuck in my head, and maybe now it's stuck in your head. You're welcome. Some of you might know me as one of the co-hosts on Galaxy of Toys podcast. My co-hosts Jason, Ryan, and Chris B, of course, holding it down. Thought I would give it a try with some of my own ideas. So here we are. I think what we're going to do, and the whole idea behind the podcast, is to talk about our youth. Discuss pictures that we've got in the gallery. So we're going to be talking with a lot of folks that actually have pictures hosted at IGUSWStarWars.com. That'll be great. We're going to start. We're going to give Jason with Galaxy of Toys podcast a call here in a few moments. But I wanted to start out letting you folks know that I have actually been recording my voice and kind of goofing around with sound recordings for quite some time. And it's been a long time that I've been looking for some lost tapes that I had. Went back to my dad's in Port Angeles, is where I used to live, after I lived in Lewiston, Idaho. I went back and feverishly looked around, and I finally came across these tapes that I have been looking for years. And we're going to be pulling out some excerpts from those. I actually have some right now that I'd like to share with you. This was probably in 1981, maybe early 82. I thought I was really cool. I don't think I'm cool anymore. And I wanted the world to know. Apparently, I've also got a old A&W commercial stuck in my head. So let's listen to a young Tom. This is authentic footage, authentic shenanigans from 1981. Have a listen, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, this is Tom Burgess, and I'm going to be coming up. Oh no, help! Hello, I'm cool. Did you know I was cool? Yeah. That's a matcha. Aching for the bacon. Aching for the bacon. A&W got the matcha. What's a matcha? That's a matcha. A&W's got the matcha.
All right, so as you can see, I am completely qualified for this job. So, hey guys, without further ado, let's take a walk down memory lane with our friend, Jason Latrell. Alrighty, calling Jason. Got the two old rotary phones together, and I'm calling on one and holding the other to the 8-track recorder. It's dialing. There you go. Jason.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I think all of you know Jason. Jason, this is Jason from Galaxy of Toys podcast. He is the main host, of course, and I am. What would I be, Jason? I don't know. I'm just kind of a.
You're the foil. to
Yeah,
everyone.
that's right. Exactly. We've got Jason on our first episode because Jason is actually one of the first person beside myself to add photos to the gallery at IGUSW.com. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the gallery and we're going to take a look. And what I'll do is on the video, we're going to have the pictures, but for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to need to describe the first photo in the gallery, which is Jason 5. This is the fifth photo in the gallery, and it looks like it's is that a onesie you're wearing, Jason, or is that just a pajama kind of thing going on?
It's just one of those, the pajamas with the feet in them.
It's a onesie.
It
and
is.
I would kill.
It is.
I wonder if they have like a slightly overweight 6'1",
They
kind
might.
of a size 45
Yeah.
onesie. I'm gonna have to look for one of those.
And it's yellow.
It's yellow.
It's a yellow
yeah.
onesie.
You look like Winnie the Pooh there.
Yeah. I felt like Winnie the Pooh.
So what you've got there is you're opening what looks like something very cool, but sitting beside you is what appears to be, most obviously, two TIE fighters, a Kenner TIE, well, they're both Kenner, but a Kenner figure fighter, and then one of the smaller die-cast fighters. Do you remember this day?
I remember it like it was. I think I remember it like it could have been last Christmas. That's how burned into my memory.
How do you remember how this? Well, this was Christmas, but how old were you? Do you remember how old you were?
I'm 6 years old right here.
A 6-year-old Jason diving into some TIE fighter goodness here.
Right.
Do you remember what was in the other present there that you were tearing into? Was that another Star Wars present there?
There
Jason?
were for this Christmas I got 3 Star Wars presents. One was the die-cast Kenner TIE Fighter, which you can see to the bottom right of the photo. The other one was the 3 3/4 scale TIE Fighter, which you can see next to me, and that was assembled when I opened it. So I believe what my dad did was went and put it together and put all the stickers on it. It had them on when I opened it.
Yeah,
it was
interesting.
brand new. It wasn't like a secondhand thing. It was just
this was probably what, 78?
So this is Christmas of 79.
Okay, so 79. You're definitely not going to be finding many hand-me-down TIE fighters.
Right. And it was kind of common for my Santa Claus to assemble my presents before I opened them when I was that.
Wow,
small.
that is surprising because my dad said, "Hey, have at it. Put the stickers on however you want, and if you screw it up, it's your fault."
Yeah. So. Now, what's really cool is the present that I've got in my hand on this photo is not another Star Wars gift. I believe it's a puzzle, or it might have even been an Etch-a-Sketch. Coming up shortly, and I wish I had a photo of this, was a box that was wrapped that was full of carded 12 and 20 backs, I believe.
Well, from what we can see, you're kind of in the foreground, or kind of the middle ground. We've got the TIE fighters in the foreground, and then you've got some other great presents in the background that are just kind of still waiting to be tore into. So.
Right. One thing of note about this Christmas was I also got Tobor this Christmas.
Oh,
and
the Tobor is robot spelled backwards, right?
And if you look to the bottom left corner of the photo, you can see the little remote control clicker thing for Tobor.
There it is.
That's
and
what it
I
is.
will in the video I will do one of those obnoxious little red circles around it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Nice times. So let's go to the next photo, which is actually, so this one is photo, I don't know.
6.
Yes. Let's go to photo 6.
Yes.
So here we go. And maybe I'm assuming this is probably later in the day.
This is later in the day.
You're no longer wearing the onesie. You're dressed to the nines there. It looks like.
This was later. This is the same day, but it was later on during the day, and we actually drove to my grandmother's house, who's in the photo on the right.
Got it.
It was about an hour drive, and the TIE fighter stayed with me. Like, I was not letting that TIE fighter go. It stayed on my lap the whole trip to Grandma's house, right? Like, we're not gonna let that thing out of our sight.
So let me paint the picture here. You've got what looks like maybe a family room in the background. You've got a Christmas tree that's tinseled up and looks great. You've got the angel on top,
right,
which actually looks kind of like a halo around your grandmother's head.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
Yep.
And then you've got the little cuckoo clock on the wall. This is definitely Grandma's house.
It is, and she still has all this stuff. So.
Walking into my dad's house, it's like walking back into time, which is crazy.
Yeah. And that's
sorry,
that's my mom on the left.
Right.
And,
nice.
I was thinking it might be fun to try to recreate this photo, like then and now with like the same stuff in the background.
So great. I've tried to do that. I've tried to do that as well, but I had the very first photo, I think, is me holding the Boba Fett when I was younger, but I've tried to do that. My dad still has, no surprise, the same couch, but we're all a little heavier and we're all a little sloppier looking. It's just not going to be a photo that anybody's going to want to see, really. So I'm still kicking that around, but I think you guys should definitely kind of remake this photo. That would be great.
So I think that would be fun. I think my mom and my grandmother would be up for it.
Yeah.
Now another cool thing about this Christmas was, so earlier in the day I had, no photos of it, but I did get 10 of the action figures, the Kenner action figures.
Do you remember which ones they were?
I do. I think it was, I got Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Stormtrooper, Walrus Man, Snaggletooth, Greedo, and let me think. God, I think I'd have to write it all down
So we're already into the 21 backs here, or the 20 backs.
Yeah, these were 12 and 20 backs. I'm sure. I mean, I don't remember looking at the backs, but anyways, I had got 10 figures, and I got to my grandma's house, and she also got me 2 more figures, and she said she looked everywhere for R2-D2 and C-3PO but could not find them, so she got me R5-D4 and the Death Star droid instead. But it was cool. I mean, it was even better because I already had R2-D2 and C-3PO. So. Oh,
that's great. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the alternate universe R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Right. Yeah. By the end of the day, I had 12 of the Kenner figures, 12 of the 20.
Holy cow.
You're
already halfway there.
And Boba Fett, well, I didn't, I think he was out. Yeah, he was out then. I didn't have him. So. No.
Got it. So let's move over to the final photo, Jason 7.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you following along here. So what we've got is looks like your mom's out of the picture, maybe taking the picture, but you're standing directly in front of the that rad cuckoo clock, and then you're standing next to. You've got a better shot now of the Christmas tree with the little angel, little angel topper, and you've still got Jason. You've still got that TIE fighter.
Yeah, the TIE fighter.
In your hands.
Yeah, the TIE fighter was not leaving my grip. Right? It's just
Right.
You could tell look how proud I am to have a TIE fighter. Like,
well, yeah.
Look at me. I have a TIE fighter. You don't. I'm proud.
Did you explain to your grandmother to no end about what a TIE fighter is and who Darth Vader was and all that good stuff?
I didn't.
Really?
No, for me back then, I felt like Star Wars was for me and for my friends and not really for my parents or grandparents.
Wow. It's funny because when I remember, during Empire when, it was that I think it was that summer when the survival kit promotion was going on, And, I'd sent my proofs of purchase out, and then we went to Germany for a month during the summer, which we did when I was a kid, because my folks were German. And trying to explain to this, old German guy who really didn't care about any of this, an excited 10-year-old Tom trying to explain this was difficult, but I think he just kind of nodded and feigned some kind of interest, but I think in the end he just wanted me to go away. So interesting. So as you can tell, I mean, I was a Star Wars fan, and I wanted to share it with everyone who was around. So it's good that you probably kind of kept it to the folks who actually gave a crap about it.
Yeah, so. I knew right away my dad just wasn't going to care about Star Wars that much. But hey, I got the TIE Fighter and I got the figures, so nothing to complain about.
I've got a question for you now that we're on that subject. I mean, rolling back, you were 8. How old were you? 6, right?
I was 6 then. Yep. Okay,
so you were 6. Do you mention it to any of the family now? I mean, they still know you're
right.
They still know you're a Star Wars fan. But...
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do.
So they've pretty much accepted that you're a complete maniac.
I think so. I think they've accepted it.
Yeah, I think my family did too. So.
Barely, but they have. No, actually,
well, it's a life choice.
You know what's funny is my grandma, who's she's still alive and she's in her 80s now. She actually ended up liking Star Wars quite a bit because as the years went by, I would watch them on VHS, and sometimes she'd watch the whole trilogy with me. So she eventually did get into it. This was years later. This was
great.
Like in the 90s when I started watching the trilogy over and over in the early 90s. Because I had them on VHS, and so she did get into it, and she eventually, knew. She now knows all the characters, and she will go out on garage sales and occasionally still buy me Star Wars toys, but they're usually like, just old new figures that probably nobody wanted anymore.
Right.
But the thought still counts.
Do you think you're going to? I've been thinking about this myself. Once the new movies come out, obviously I want to watch it with fans. I'm probably going to watch it with you guys the first time out. But are you gonna consider watching the new films with your family at all? If you're back there,
I'd like to do that. Yeah.
I don't think I could do that with my dad. I mean, if you guys think that I'm a curmudgeon. Yeah, my dad is double, triple what I am, and it would. I think we'd just pretty much kill ourselves in the theater before it even started. So
yeah,
I think sharing Star Wars and stuff with my family is pretty much not going to happen. I think that pretty much ended when I was 12 years old. So. Yeah, so there you go. Those are the photos that Jason has shared with IGUSWStarWars.com, and that you donated these photos 5 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
So IGUSWStarWars.com has been going for 5 years already. So that's very cool. So anything else before we stop the 8-track recording here?
No, I just I feel fortunate that these photos were actually taken. That someone, I think it was my mom or dad or someone had it in them to know to take some photos of my TIE Fighter, because clearly I wanted to take the photo of the TIE Fighter.
But the thing is, I mean, I'm thinking about this and I'm looking at it, and a lot of the pictures in the gallery, a lot of them are Christmas photos.
Right.
And it just makes sense because, I mean, when you're 6 and you've got a TIE Fighter, it's going to be in the photo because that thing is pretty much welded to your hands for the next, until February.
Yeah. And like the photos I had, I sent you the only 3 photos I had from this Christmas, and, they all had the TIE Fighter in them. And I wasn't interested in getting my picture taken with Tobor. No offense to Tobor, but I didn't want. I wanted the TIE Fighter in the photo.
That's right. So here you go. Hey, before we let you go, let's. What I want you to do, we're going to play a game called Rapid Retro Recall.
Okay.
Okay. So put your mind in your 6-year-old self.
So, What's on the program for today, Fixer?
Speed run, Skywalker. Speed run.
Okay, here we go. Let's do rapid retro recall. Jason, what I want you to do is put yourself in the mind of your former 6-year-old self.
Okay.
You've got the first thing that comes into your mind. You're going to answer my questions. I've got 5 of them. They could be Star Wars related. They might not be Star Wars related.
All right.
We'll just have to see. 5 questions. You answer as quickly as you can. Once you've answered, we'll go to the next question. Number 1, favorite breakfast cereal.
Fruit Loops.
Favorite Star Wars figure.
Best been Luke Skywalker.
Have you ever eaten fondue? Yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite toy before Star Wars.
Oh, without question, the $6 Million Man.
Your family car back then was a make and model.
A Plymouth Horizon.
There you go. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Anything you want to plug before we stop the recording here?
Well, Galaxy of Toys. Make sure you listen to each and every episode.
Absolutely. And I think you've got another project that you're working on. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or are we just going to kind of find out organically when that happens? Are there any exclusives for us?
You know, we're working on adding some additional programming to Galaxy of Toys.
That's right.
We're going to have a show
about this podcast for one.
Yeah. This podcast for one. We'll have a show about comic books.
Yep.
Star Wars comic books. And I think our buddy Ryan is working on something special to cover all the miscellaneous stuff that we never get to talk about on the normal the Galaxy of Toys show. So
that's right, because you would never hear the end of it
right.
from me. But definitely tune into Galaxy of Toys podcast. You can find them on Facebook along with IGrewUpStarWars.com on Facebook, and Galaxy of Toys. Where can they stream? They can stream it on iTunes, right?
It's on iTunes. You can also go to galaxyoftoys.podbean.com, and you can listen to all the episodes there. You can download all the episodes there. You can look in the archives. I think iTunes only stores 25 episodes. So if you want the older ones that are older than 25, you got to go to the archive and download them or listen to them from the page.
There you go.
Hold on.
How many are we down at Galaxy of Toys? What's our next one?
We're going to be doing episode 29 soon.
29.
Yeah. And
29 to this number 1.
Right. Plus we have 3 specials. So
that's right.
Like on, but yeah. And you can listen to us on Stitcher Smart Radio as well. If you've got an Android phone, Stitcher works well. So
there you go.
There you go.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, Tom.
All right, so there you go. This is kind of the prototype episode, but that concludes our podcast for today. If you guys are so inclined, let me know what you think. I sure would appreciate it. I'm going to be posting it to iTunes, and you, of course, can find it on IGrewUpStarWars.com and the IGrewUpStarWars.com Facebook page. So there's a ton of places where you can see it or listen to it. A huge thank you goes out to Super Robotic Encounters for our intro and outro music. Just awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to sign off. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Well, we hope you enjoyed your programming today. That was the
IGrewUpStarWars.com podcast.
Tom Burgess
and his friends. Don't forget that.